M.F. Husain, often referred to as India's Picasso, was a brilliant artist, a founding member of the Progressive Artists Group, and a wonderful raconteur. It was 1983. M.F. Husain was at the peak of his incredible art career, representing India and Indian art at a summit in Caracas, Venezuela. This painting, From the Valley of Kashmir to the Valley of Caracas, was the result. The early 1980s was a time of great South-South cooperation. India and Venezuela signed a cultural agreement which was inspired by the desire to establish and develop close cultural relations between government and peoples based on the principles of equality, respect, and non-intervention in internal affairs, which was desirous of promoting better mutual understanding in the fields of art, literature, education, history, sports, and other cultural and academic disciplines. Husain was included in a cultural delegation to Venezuela, not only because he was India's preeminent artist of the time, but also because he had done some large paintings in front of live auditorium audiences in his native Mumbai, then Bombay, which had been huge crowd draws. His virtuoso style melded painting and performance. In this painting, Husain chose to make a connection between Caracas and Kashmir, India's northernmost state, today one of the flashpoints of geopolitics, but in 1983, a haven of peace.
But Husain really loved people, and he really was a people person. He was such a great communicator and interacted with people. And he always, I think, loved being in the moment, and that gave him the inspiration to create something. And he picks the colors too, right, to fit the topic or the emotive quality. I found him to be always extremely informed about what was going on in world politics. He had the ability to meet all the key people, negotiators.
What is remarkable is that Venezuela was a successful, booming economy that could find resources for doing this kind of, the expense involved in this kind of thing. This Indian cultural delegation was led by the then Chief Minister of Kashmir, a man by the name of Farooq Abdullah. So that the Indian government found sort of a Kashmiri, a Muslim man to lead the delegation is quite remarkable in today's India. But I think the painting captures so much of a moment that is so hard to recreate. That Venezuela is a booming economy, is a very, very successful petro state, but nonetheless attracting talent from all over the world. That India finds the best people to represent it are, people that India's current, at least national dispensation would not consider them in that role. Husain, Farooq Abdullah, they were the Indians there. And Husain in turn sees the Valley of Caracas and immediately connects it to the Valley of Kashmir in his head.
In this paragraph, published in the newspaper The Hindu, the Indian classical dancer Sudharani Raghupati recalls the extraordinary experience of watching M.F. Husain working through the night. Husain was working for a full week but was not able to complete it until the day before the inauguration, so he did not stop painting that night and produced stroke after deft stroke as we watched in fascination. On the whole, it was a colorful night that just flew away, and we were back at the venue the next morning, not feeling tired after sitting up the whole night. In what may seem incredible today, these three threads of Venezuela's prosperity, Kashmir's peace, and Husain's iconic representation of Indian art came together in this one work, From the Valley of Kashmir to the Valley of Caracas, the largest single canvas work of Husain, painted in public outside of a studio environment.